Daryl Morey has a trick up his sleeve. So I've heard all the jokes. I've heard that the Sixers are overvaluing Ben Simmons. I've heard that they're treating Ben Simmons like prime MJ. Now, even after Ben Simmons has not played one game for the Sixers, now they want to not lower the asking price, but make it steeper? What's going on? Now, in a previous video, I said that Daryl Morey is being petty, which I still believe he is doing, right? Because he doesn't want to give Ben Simmons what he truly wants. The Sixers signed Ben Simmons to a 5-year deal. He has 4 years left on that deal. Why would you give the guy what he wants? So I understand that. But what you're doing right now, and what I had a problem with, is that you are wasting a year of Joel Embiid's prime, and you know that this guy is injury prone. So I don't know how many years we got that he's gonna be at this elite level. But I started to think, I'm like, I saw some report that the Pistons offered Jeremy Grant, Kelly Olynyk, Sadiq Bey, and a first-round pick for Ben Simmons. Thinking to myself, like, that right there is better than nothing. That right there might make us top 3 in the East. That right there might have us in contention to win the East. Not necessarily win it, but have us in contention to win it. If you feel me, like, have us in contention. The Sixers denied that. They was like, we don't want that. And in fact, we're actually making the asking price steeper, higher than it actually was before. I'm like, what is this guy doing? I sort of think, right? Daryl Morey has a trick up his sleeve. If you think Daryl Morey, a guy that has graduated from MIT, brilliant, he's one of the smartest guys in the NBA. If you think that he is making the asking price for Ben Simmons higher and higher as the season progresses just to be petty, I think you are wrong. I think Daryl Morey has a trick up his sleeve, and that trick up his sleeve is to get James Harden. Yes, you heard it here first. I think that Daryl Morey, his master plan, he's playing chess, not playing checkers, that he wants to get James Harden. I think that Daryl Morey and James Harden have been texting. I think Daryl Morey and James Harden have been on the phone. You heard the reports that James Harden, he's gonna be exploring his options. Well, guess what? If I'm just going to put 2 and 2 together, I'm gonna think that Daryl Morey knows something that we all don't know. Because to the casual fan, to the average fan, to the person that's just looking at this at face value, Ben Simmons had a terrible postseason performance. And instead of taking the best deal available because this guy is never gonna play for us again, maybe you should, take the best deal available because the guy's never going to play for us again. He's never going to up his trade value. But I believe that Daryl Morey, he's too smart to be acting like this, bro. He knows something that we don't know right now. And I think that especially if the Nets don't win the chip, James Harden is going to be a Philadelphia 76er. So if I'm a Sixers fan, if you are a Sixers fan watching this in the playoffs, because if we're going to be completely honest, the Sixers, they probably aren't going to, they aren't going to be contending for no championship. They aren't going to beat no Nets team unless somebody gets injured, right? So we should be the biggest Bucks fans alive. We should be the biggest Giannis supporter in the playoffs, because if the Bucks happen to beat the Nets, and the Nets don't win a championship, I believe that James Harden is coming to Philadelphia. I believe that James Harden is going to be a Philadelphia 76er, because at the end of the day, if James Harden wins in Philly compared to winning in Brooklyn, it's night and day, because if he wins in Philadelphia, his legacy will skyrocket compared to how much his legacy is going to be enhanced if he wins in Brooklyn. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that his legacy won't be enhanced if he wins in Brooklyn. But I do think that if he wins in Philly, it takes his legacy to a whole nother level, because in Brooklyn, he's the third wheel. He's deferring like he is the third wheel. If you are in Philly and you win a championship with Joel Embiid, you elevate yourself to top 20, top 25 status all time. All the time. You will be beloved. There will be no city in the NBA, in the country, in the United States. There will be no fan base that will ride for you like the Sixers will. If you are from Philadelphia, you know how much Philly fans ride for their star players when they play well. Now, don't get me wrong. If you BSing, if you not giving us your all, we gonna boo you. We gonna talk trash on you. We are definitely, we not messing with that. We don't take no BS lightly, because we don't BS, as a whole city in general. But James Harden can really elevate his legacy, elevate his all-time status if he wins in Philly. Because guess what? If you're not winning in Brooklyn and you got a big three, why the heck did you go there in the first place? You went there in the first place to win championships. So if you go to Brooklyn and you're not winning championships, you might as well come to Philadelphia. I mean, hey, even if you are putting up great numbers, taking us to the finals, taking us to the Eastern Conference Finals, it's not going to be as much pressure as it's going to be in Brooklyn, right? When you got that three-headed monster, and every single year y'all are expected to win a championship. But if you win in Philly, your legacy goes to a different stratosphere. So if I'm Daryl Morey, I definitely think Daryl Morey right now has a trick up his sleeve, and he is going to trade Ben Simmons for James Harden, because it doesn't make any sense for him to make the asking price for Ben Simmons steeper after the guy hasn't played since Game 7 of the second round last season. So to my knowledge, just for me to infer what's going on, for me to put my 2 cents into this situation, Daryl Morey knows something that we don't know, and that is that James Harden's coming back. Now, do you think that there's a chance that James Harden is coming back? Do you think that Daryl Morey has a trick up his sleeve, that he has a master plan that nobody thought of? But I think he does. The guy is too smart to just be turning down all these trade packages for Ben Simmons that, aren't pretty bad. I would take Jeremy Grant, first round pick, Kelly Olynyk. I would take Malcolm Brogdon. I would take De'Aaron Fox. I would take CJ McCollum. I mean, all those players are better than nothing. They're better than, what we got now, which is nothing. But if you're waiting to get James Harden in a sign and trade this offseason, all of that's out the window. Wait until you get James Harden if I'm Daryl Morey. So I think that this is his master plan, and that is to get James freaking Harden. I mean, look, man, as a Sixers fan, we can only hope, but I got some good reason to hope. Daryl Morey and James Harden, they're pretty close to pretty tight. I mean, James Harden is kind of the reason why Daryl Morey is thought of the way he is right now. I mean, he elevated just like how Daryl Morey has risen up to this level of being a great executive, a great GM in this league. A lot of that has to do with James Harden being that guy in Houston for all those years. I mean, Daryl Morey even said that James Harden was the best thing that happened to him. Now, the Sixers almost got, James Harden, but Tillman Fertitta was being salty, and he was like, you know what, I'm not going to trade James Harden to Daryl Morey, who left us, for Philadelphia. So, he was hating, and he ended up trading him to the Nets. But I believe that if the Nets don't win a championship this year, James Harden is going to be a Philadelphia 76er. Let me know what you think down below. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that jazz. This is Real Talk with MJ, where y'all know I always keep it real. I'm out, y'all.